guys. You guys are actually by where I do my readings at and where I perform my rituals for the most part. You're really close to where I am honoring my ancestors right now. And I'm gonna actually be getting ready to do some readings for clients. And it's like 4 in the morning. But I've been up and I've been going through my business page and I was looking at some of the reviews that my clients have been leaving me. And it's just been beautiful how, connected we feel to each other and how, they feel that they're comfortable enough to do repeat readings with me and continue to grow. And, they want to continue to evolve and they want to take me along with that journey as a spiritual advisor for them. And it's just been beautiful. I do have to do the How the Signs Have Sex Leo video, and I'll be doing that soon. I really want to dress up and be dramatic as fuck for that video. So it might have to wait, a little bit. I actually wanted to talk to you guys today about simple techniques that you can use to enhance your spells. And it's kind of a little bit more so like a play off and a piggyback from posts that I have on my Facebook. Basically, I post on my Facebook and, I share a lot of my content there. A lot of my deals go on my Facebook to the people that follow me on there. A lot of my raw just readings and, my live readings happen there. And, a lot of I share a lot of my thoughts with my Facebook and people. And I'm not saying that for anybody to go and add me on Facebook because I'm really not ready to accept more friends. I recently had a large influx of people friend requesting me because there was a level of popularity that I was getting on Facebook for the readings that I was doing when I did my February discounted readings. But I feel like it's time for me to remove them from my page. Just there's certain differences of energy that I'm just not really feeling. And I actually just want to share with you guys a couple of things that were on my Facebook page today. And I really want to kind of keep it short because I realized that, I don't really like long videos. I realized, that the type of work that I like to do in the way that my mind works, I'm a little bit more long-winded than, some people's attention span may be, looking for. So I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet. That being said, as a witch, anybody that wants to do magic, you have to really understand the symbolism and the energies of the world around you. Pretty much anything can be used and consecrated for magic. And something that I actually had mentioned to my Facebook people was that, was this. Okay, this is, if you read the tarot, this is the card for the Magician. Okay. The Magician in tarot is actually, it's ruled by Mercury. Okay, so that represents the mind and communication and speaking and, short trips and just the people around you, just collecting information and data and interpreting and sharing information that you've received. Like Mercury rules Gemini, right? But it's exalted in Virgo. And So it's very important that these people who have like a lot of Mercury in their chart, they tend to have a lot of anxious energy, or their mind works a lot. They operate at a very fast pace, and they speak really well. A lot going on. For me, my Mercury is actually in the 12th house of my natal chart in the sign of Aquarius, and it is conjunct my Aquarius ascendant. So for me, mental activity is very much on an internal level, very private, but I share it out with a lot of people, and I'm very talkative and informative on the things that I've spent a lot of time in my head, 12th house, about. Okay. So what does this magician have anything to do with you, and why are we talking about natal charts, and why are we talking about astrology? Well, you have to understand that the magician is card number one, okay? The magician is card number one. It is right after the fool. The fool is it's a character just going on a journey. You know, the little dog is nipping at its heels, and they don't know where they're headed to. They're just going. They're just traveling. They're just following wherever they feel the wind is going to blow them. And you know, they can even fall right off of the cliff. And in some, you know, tarot decks, you see that's something that seems to be impending for them to happen. And you can even interpret the dog as maybe warning or biking to let them know, or you can see the dog as being, you know, a companion or a loyal partner or follower, or well, anyway, beyond that, you know, really just depends on the context of what you're reading. But this magician is card number one, okay? And one in numerology correlates to the sun, it correlates to self. See, zero in numerology just refers to existing, but there's not much consciousness of the existing. One is when you're aware of self, okay? And you're aware of self with this card being number one. Then you have to also take into consideration that it's ruled by Mercury. We're talking about the mind. So this is really referring to consciousness, okay? Then you're looking at look at his hands, okay? You see that finger, the hands pointing up, right? And also down. So you see he's pointing up and down because he's putting the wand in the air and he's putting his finger down to the ground. He's basically saying as above, so below. You see that? He has literally a little bit of everything. He has a sword, which represents thought. He has the cup, which represents emotion. The pentacle, which represents building, you know, material things, you know, earth. You got earth for pentacles. You got water for the cup. You got air for the wind. Air for the sword. And then you have this wand, which represents fire. You know, an action. You know, so that the actions that you take is going to correlate with how you live your life. You have also the infinity sign. Sorry for stumbling over my words. The infinity sign is over his head. Okay, so this is where everything starts, begins, ends, resumes, pauses. Anything that's dealing with time, which is being an infinite loop, it begins with the mind. It is always has been the mind. The mind is what commands everything else. Okay? It's what commands everything else. When you are in command of your mind, then you are in command of everything. And when you do magic, when you call yourself a witch, when you are practicing, you know, hoodoo or whatever, Wicca, whatever type of form of spirituality or religion that you're practicing that's more traditional and using the elements, you have to understand that the mind is more important The intention is more important than anything else that you do in a spell. You have to be, your mind has to be in sync with everything that you are trying to do. Okay? So even if, you only have a tea light candle, a white tea light candle. Let's say you only have a white tea light candle. This white tea light candle can give you a powerful ass motherfucking money spell if you do this right, if you use this energy right, because this can burn and burn all the way through, burn quickly, and this money can come to you quickly because you put that energy out there. Everything doesn't require you to have a 7-day candle. Everything doesn't require you to be out here, buying all these expensive herbs and having them reported. Granted, those things can be really great and useful for specific things, but you have a lot of ability to manifest things with just your mind and attracting that to you through the law of attraction, through prayer and meditation, by just working with your ancestors, and just little small tools that are here to help you, such as this tea light candle, or even in my case, some of these votive candles that I have, or even, hell, sometimes I don't even have to light a goddamn candle for the shit to come to me just because I want it that bad, and my ancestors provide for me very well. So, with that being said, I want us to understand that people who practice magic have to really get into the habit of knowing how to effectively communicate with them, within themselves, with this universe, okay, with nature. Okay, and that's the thing that people don't understand, that magic at its core is working with the forces of nature to get the universe to bring onto it, to them, what they want, what they desire. Okay, so it's basically communicating with nature by using nature in order to bring about the changes or the shifts or the blessings that you want for the universe to bring to you. Okay, you are communicating with your ancestors when you are giving them water, when you are giving them their alcohol or their vices, when you're praying to them, when you're offering food to them. You are communicating with them. What does the magician do? It represents Mercury, communication. That's what it is at first. It starts with a thought. Thoughts lead to words, words lead to actions. That's exactly the same thing. Now, it may be more nonverbal, when you're doing things with magic, but you do want to speak verbally as well. So I'm not going to really say that in the sense that, things that you can't, that you're not going to verbally speak things, but you're communicating both verbally and non-verbally when you're doing magic. Okay, let me put this back real quick. Okay, when people come to me for readings, what am I doing? I'm communicating with them by way of using whatever tool I have consecrated for that, to be a medium for me to connect with the other side, whether that be me using a spirit board, a pendulum, whether that be me just straight up using my clairvoyance and my claircognizance, or my clairsentience, or my clairaudience, whether that be me using any of the tarot decks that I have, whatever the case may be. I'm communicating information as a medium between the ancestral realm and my client. When I do magic for my clients, I am communicating to the spirit and to the spiritual side of this plane of existence that my client is this is what they're desiring. This is what they want. Okay, this is what they're requesting. This is what they're petitioning. They want love. They want their love to be happier. They want to fix their marriage. They want to have a new job. They want to manifest a car. They want to have a new place to live. They want to get a cord tie cut from a toxic person that they were with. They want to get rid of a boss at their job that's giving them a hard time. They want to win a court case. Whatever the case may be, whatever it is that we're petitioning the spiritual realm for, there is coding in your herbs. There is a message in your spices. There is a beacon of light that is a symbol to the spirits what it is that you're trying to do. So that's why they say colors are important, or why, you want to use the correct herbs or the correct spices or the correct, whatever it is that you're trying to do. And it is important that when you're doing magic, you start to learn and teach yourself several different bullet points of information for each thing that you plan to work with. So, for example, me reading tarot cards, right? I'm going to read the tarot card as it is saying. I'm going to look at the picture and see what things draw to me. I'm going to look at the numbers. I'm going to look at the sign that's associated with it, or I'm going to look at the numerology, or whatever the case may be. There's so much information that can be on a tarot card that I have to really use my intuition and rely on my spirits to give me the clues that are needed for me to pick up on the details that can be lost if somebody is just looking at a tarot card and not knowing what to look for. So I look at the cards and I see the whole picture. I see things individually. I see the energy behind it. I can touch that card and I can see a picture of something. And I know several different scenarios for how this energy can play out when I look at a card. I don't just look at a card and see it for face value. There's always several different alternatives of information that this can be. So what I'm saying is that, when you're using, let's say I'm going to use a chili flake, all right, and Magick. Right. So if I can use a chili flake and I could put it in a sour jar, and I'm going to bring heat and uncomfortability into somebody's life. But I can also use that same chili flake and put that into a love spell, and I can bring heat and intensity and passion into their relationship and make it spicy and steamy. I could put that same chili flake into a money jar, and that's going to bring money to me quickly because it's going to start percolating, and it's a catalyst for this stuff to start coming to pass. Do you see what I'm saying? So you see a chili on face value, you will see it as hot, as detrimental, as bad, but it has other sides and other ways in which it could be used. So I would suggest that people take time and really learn different methods of which this particular item, or whatever it is that they're going to be using to consecrate it for magic, that they learn what ways that this can be used for, not just for this particular spell, but for future reference. So a lot of people, they keep things like a witch's journal, or a book of shadows, or a fucking spell book, or whatever, whatever the case may be. Some of y'all are really trying to make that shit like Hogwarts or fucking Charmed or whatever. And that's fine. You want to live like that, that's fine. But, truth is, like, yeah, it'd be good because you can write things down and you can share with what these herbs are going to be good to you for. You can study things. You can study these things and study about nutrition and study about health, and you can see how they would be good and beneficial to your body, and that can be very similar to how you can use it for magic. Another way that I wanted to talk to you guys about, I made an oil, and this is pretty much used. Most of it is used anyway. But I made an oil and I sold several of them. And, my clients who used it, I'm not entirely sure, the way in which they used it, but I will tell you the intention of that money oil was to bring you an ease for money to come to you. You could use that when you're working with your ancestors. You could use it to bless your money. You could use it to help your candles, so you could dress your candles with it and help your spells to run along a little bit more smoothly. You could rub it on your hands and bring money to you more easily. But at the same time, you have to make sure you're using the money oil and working to bring money to you at the same time. Okay, so you go and you apply for a job. Maybe you don't have a job, but you bought this money oil, so now you got the money oil. You lit you made a spell with the money oil, and you know you've lit your candle. You've been petitioning and praying. You go out and you apply for jobs, and jobs that are paying you well are calling you back. That's a sign that the money oil is working. Or, you know, you pay $5 for a scratch off and you make 20, 40, $50 off of it. That's a sign that the money oil is working. Or you get a promotion at your job, or you get a check in the mail that you wasn't expecting, or somebody buys you lunch and dinner and you didn't have to spend no money. You know what I'm saying? You win a gift card, whatever the case may be. That's how it works. But you want to be out there making these um, doors open so that way they can keep coming to you. Okay. That's the same thing with a love spell. Some people, that's why I charge people first for a consultation. So you want a love spell, and this a man that you ain't never met before in your life. He don't know you exist. You know what I'm saying? Sis, like, I'm probably not going to do a jar on him for you. I'm not gonna, use any of my spirits or any of the deities that I work with to help this guy come to you when you didn't even so much as introduce yourself to him. You didn't even so much as, try to establish if y'all have a rapport, or even have a conversation with the man. That's crazy, Like, same thing if you want me to help you get a car, but you ain't even been trying to get your license. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, or you ain't even been looking for a car. Like, where's your effort in it? And I'm not saying this as a means for my clients, because I'm sure my clients are doing well with their money oil. But at the same time, I'm saying this just in general for people who don't understand. You have to put in work along with your spells. You can't just be sitting out here, you know what I'm saying, waiting for things to fall in your lap, because it will take so much longer for that to come to you. It's so much easier for things to come to you, for blessings to come to you, when you have doors open for them to come through, when you have windows open for them to come through. Okay? I'm just saying. It's so much easier for you to get blessings when you out and about and they able to come catch you while you out and about, versus having to go through rush hour traffic to get to your house, knock on your door, wait for you to answer the damn thing. All I'm saying is y'all have to realize that you have to put in work with your spell too. So for example, there is a honey jar that I'm looking at right here, right? Okay, this couple, they argue, you know, they don't really, they've had their little ups and downs, and ultimately the woman, she wanted the man to be more nice to her, more nurturing, more affectionate, and things of the sort. Okay, but you have to realize that in what you're asking of him, you have to be also those things. You have to also be willing to work on yourself. You want to work him to be changing, but what are you doing to change? Because at the end of the day, you have to work on this. If this is a relationship and you want this relationship to work and to last, then you have to also make sure that you are doing things to make sure he likes you and he wants to make it work with you. Because at the end of the day, if you're not doing your part, then you're going to be right back trying to get this shit done again. Okay? Because you don't listen, because you're not trying to make things work with your man. You have to both work at this. And that's the truth. Okay? That's the same thing for you want a job spell, but you ain't applying for no shit. Well, how the fuck did you think that was going to work? or just little things like that. You have to put your work in with what you're trying to do. You have to make things go the way you have to work. You have to work toward your goals, okay? And Magick helps you to be met halfway or 3/4 of the way or all the way. But you have to you got to put yourself on that path. You got to start heading in that direction, okay? And it's going to come pick you up. And that's the truth, okay? So, anyway, the magician, you have to be really mindful of your mind. You have to be in control of that thing. You have to know what you're saying, got to know what you're doing, got to know how what your thoughts are. You got to be in control of them. Okay? So when you're doing magic, you really want to keep the energy positive for what it is that you're trying to accomplish, or negative if you're trying to do some negative shit, But you really want to keep your mind in alignment with whatever it is that you are wanting to manifest. And you have to manipulate your mind into believing that it already happened and that it's already on its way. That way the universe aligns itself with your mind and it sends it to you. It is just one of those things that it's going to take time. Don't be doing no magic and then start second guessing, or don't be doing no magic and not knowing and trusting your word and trusting your judgment. You have to take the time to literally understand and believe what it is that you are doing, and believe in you and believe in your ability to create this reality that you want so much that you, before you even got done lighting the candles, before you even did the ritual, you knew it was on its way. You just was doing the ritual as a means to see it physically take place while it's manifesting. You did that as a means to do it for semantics, for your ancestors or spirit guides or the deities that walk with you. But you know that you was going to make this shit happen. And that's how you are going to be a powerful spiritualist, because you got to know and trust and believe that you're the baddest motherfucker out there. Okay? You just got to really believe in what you do. You got to believe in your work. And that's all part of being a magician, is being in control of your mind, meaning believing in yourself first and foremost. Anyway, I'm saying that because it is important. And, I may upload the video that I had on my Facebook about worshiping your ancestors. And, I'll give you a little preview of my altar. Let's see what's going on over here. But this is an offering that I'm leaving to my ancestors. This is an altar that I have for them. Up here is where I'm doing some spells that I'm gonna. This one's for a client that I'm getting ready to do her reading tomorrow. This is a money candle that I'm gonna be working on as soon as I get the hair from the client that I'm working on. This one is gonna be for me, actually. And that one, I believe, that one is unassigned as of yet. Okay, but I have my spices down there. I have a collection of books up there, and all of my reading materials are down here. I actually read right in this spot all the time. Sometimes I read in my bed when I don't feel like getting out of the bed, but most of the time I come down here and it's just my little corner where I do my magic and I feel at peace, and it's just a wonderful feeling. And being a part of the spiritual occult life is my actual lifestyle. Like, this is how I operate. And I know some people may like it because it's sold in Sephora now, or some people may like it because these stores are popular, but a lot of people lack the core understanding of why we do what we do. Because if you're not in control of your mind, if you're not at the magician, right, which is number one, how you gonna be at the high priest? How you gonna be at the high priestess? I'm just wondering. How you gonna evolve if you ain't even at the point of being able to control your mind? How you gonna be able to help others, teach others, or do anything like that? If it starts with your mind, everything starts with the mind. I'm looking through my cards real quick. Hold on, give me a second. What do I feel like? There we are. The High Priestess, number 2. Okay, 2 is ruled by the moon. You know that? And it represents your intuition. And it represents it's also a very sensitive place too. I'm a master 11, so I have a lot of 2 energy, but I have 1 energy as well. And, this is just showing duality. And see, the thing about it is, if you're not master, everybody's able to be the fool. It's easy. All you got to do is exist. All you got to do is live. And most people are the fool because they walk around aimlessly. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know where they're going. Okay? They're just walking. They're just wandering. When you become the magician, that's when you become aware of yourself, when you become aware of your thoughts. And you become in control of them as a result, instead of them controlling you. Then once you're able to do that, then you're able to move on to the High Priestess, which is tapping into, it's like the magician. Mercury energy is pretty androgynous, but in this particular situation, we're looking at it being a masculine energy thought. But when you control your thought and you use your thought along with intuition and you merge them together, when you get the High Priestess, then that's when you're starting to tap into that feminine energy. And then number 3 would be the Empress, where you're able to birth those ideas that came from the magician and all of those magical abilities that we're harnessing in your mind. With number 2, the High Priestess, number 3, you're actually birthing those ideas. Okay, and then 4 would be the Emperor, which is the energy of Aries. 4 would be the Emperor, which is the energy of Aries. Hold on, let me show you what I'm talking about. Ugh, so many cards. Okay. All right. So everybody knows the Fool, which I done lost in. I don't know where the hell he at. I'm trying to wrap this up. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay. 0. See that? You see that? You see this nigga? He about to walk off a cliff. He not even paying attention. Right? He just know everything. He grown. He know everything. This dog is following him, but also could be warning him. But he may not be listening. Okay? So 0 is just consciousness. 0 is just existing. 0 is being in your own head, in your own bubble, not really quite aware of even yourself. Okay? You're not even aware of yourself. 1. This is magic. This is where it starts to happen because it starts with your mind. And that's why the infinity sign is over his head. That's why he's pointing above and below, because as above, so below. That's why he has the wand in his hand. He has the knife, the cup, and the pentacle, because that's one of each. It's your fire, your thought, your air, your cup, and your pentacle. So the action, the thought, the emotion, or the creativity, and the material earthly possession of it. You know, this is a sign that this card is ruled by Mercury. Okay? The thought is a fast moving planet, and that's where Gemini and Virgo come from. Okay? So you have to understand that the way that you think is so important, because it will lead you everywhere. It will lead you to your actions, and your actions will play out the rest of your reality. Okay? And so when we're talking about magic, your thought is going to really be important when you're speaking things into your existence, when things start to form around you based off of how you saw it. That's like when you have a bad day, or you think you had a bad day. By saying today is a bad day, it continues to get worse, because now the universe is giving you more of what you asked for. Okay? But when you upgrade from just thought, okay, because that's where it starts at, then you become the high priestess, because now you're coupling your intuition and you're continuing to grow. You're adding your thought and your intuition together in order to birth. This is the Empress. This represents fertility. In order to birth your emperor, in order to birth the emperor, which would be the leader, which would be the beginning of taking actions, because the emperor rules is what rules Aries here, and that's why you can see the ram in his chair. He's literally here to come and lead. But it started by existing. It started with thinking. It started with having your intuition. It started with creating. And now you're able to take action. But as you can see, it takes several steps from thought to manifest into action. It takes several steps from you to exist, to having a thought, to having intuition, to being able to birth things, to create things, and then take action. Okay, it's a whole step system. And so there are several intricate parts of spirituality, of magic, that a lot of y'all are not getting. And I'm not saying that you can't get it, but I'm saying that you have to really take the time to learn and deeply desire to learn the behind the scenes of spirituality, and it's a lot less complex than you would think, but there's a lot of information to learn, and a lot of this information was shielded from us. But you have to understand that when you're doing magic, you're going to do a lot of self-study. You're going to do a lot of meditation. That's why I spoke to you guys and said when you start working with your ancestors, that's where you need to start. But at the same time, you got to meditate. You have to really meditate. You have to really listen. You have to start looking at nature and realizing the things that are being said to you back. You prayed for this to happen to you or this to come to you, and now you're starting to see that that's starting to align with what you've asked for, because your spirits have been listening to you. You know, now you're seeing 444 or 1111 or 555 because they're listening to you. They're letting you know, hey, we see you. Yeah, we heard you. Yeah, we're working on that. Yeah, right on top of that, Rose. But y'all not listening sometimes. Sometimes y'all don't listen. Sometimes y'all don't understand. But you had the nerve to try to petition them with a candle and some shit you found from Botanica and may not even know what the hell you doing. But you're not even listening to the results of what they're doing. You're not even listening to what they're saying. You're not even understanding that they heard you, you know? And then that's when you start doubting your magic. That's when you start speaking against your magic. That's when you start canceling that shit out. You gotta really be like, you gotta understand you're powerful. You are a powerful person, and your mind is so powerful. That's why people are able to become millionaires and billionaires with the law of attraction in astrology, because they learn how to use their strengths and weaknesses to their advantage to give them what kind of reality they want, because they're so keen on the power of the mind and so keen on creating the reality that they want and using the law of attraction that they go after it wholeheartedly, and the universe does nothing but give them nothing but abundance. Meanwhile, you're struggling because you have not received that same mentality that they have. There's nothing different between you and them other than they think differently than you do, and they want differently than you do, so they got differently than what you got, and that's different. That's the only difference. Anyway, I'm off this. I am going to probably take a nap. I was going to do some readings right now, but I'm tired, you know? It's 4:30 in the morning. I'm going to go to bed for a little bit, and I'll wake up and I will do these readings when I get up. But much love, much light to everybody. Everybody. If I rambled, and I know I did, thank you for staying along with me and listening and understanding where I came from and just listening to the end, you know? If I forgot anything, go ahead and comment below. If you learned something, let me know, okay? And I really appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel. At some point, you know, I'm going to try to go ham because I would like to become a YouTube partner. I'm not too far. I just need the subscriber count now at this point. So I'm going to be doing some more consistent videos and just getting people to come to my channel and subscribe. And I hope that you guys enjoy these learning videos. I know that that's what I really would rather do, but I understand that YouTube is really not trying to learn like that. There's not a lot of people that really want to learn. They don't have the attention span to watch a 45-minute video about spirituality and tarot and using ancestral work and shit like that. I get that. So, you know, for you who did watch this and who did enjoy this, I rock with you, and I truly appreciate you for being the person that was listening to me speak at this time of night, okay? Because you the real MVP, okay? Anyway, much love, much light. If you want to get a reading with me privately, then you can definitely do that. My website is mamaneptune.com. I think I was having some issues with my payment system on my website, but it is fixed now. So if anybody does want to go and get a reading, then you can definitely book a reading with me, or you can find me on my business page on Facebook. And I believe that there is still a discount on my Facebook page. If you do find my Facebook page, Mama Neptune, then go ahead and message me and see about getting a discount, $5 off any reading 30 minutes or longer. Okay. And I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching my video. And much love to you guys. Blessings. Bye.